Oh jeez, oh my, there I go again. You don't score enough, I mean no offense.
Have some fun with this one. So I got a question from Sidney Crosby himself. So this is Crosby talking. Everyone always asks us about playing each other, but what if we were line mates? Who are you taking as a third player?
Are you sure he said that?
Yes, I am sure.
Okay. He probably wants Mario Lemieux. He probably. But I'll take my, if we play together, I'll probably take Brashear.
Why would you take Donald Brashear?
Well, we need some protections, you know. We need some freedom out there. So is somebody going to touch us? You know, it's not going to be fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Ovechkin, you absolute madman. I fucking love it. So let's make it happen. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Ovechkin, Crosby, and Donald Brashear on the same team in NHL 23 and play them on the same line for an entire season in franchise mode so that we can witness how this line would perform together for an entire season and maybe some playoffs.
Playoffs?
In order to do this, I got to find Donald Brashear in NHL 23. So I head on over to rosters, where the first place that I go is the alumni teams to go and check out the all-time team grit. Now, one would probably assume that Donald Brashear would be there, considering that he's one of the most recognized and feared enforcers in NHL history. He would fight and hit anyone, is 15th all-time in penalty minutes in the NHL, and actually holds the franchise record for the Vancouver Canucks for the most penalty minutes in a single season. Oh, and he was also involved in one of the most infamous and violent on-ice moments of all time.
There as well. Oh, McSorley slashed Brashear and caught him in the helmet. Wow. Donald Brashear is down.
Yet Donald Brashear is nowhere to be found in the all-time grit lineup, guys. Not even in healthy scratches. Good job, EA Sports. Team all-time grit doesn't have this guy.
LaRocca left, spins Brashear around. LaRocca left, Brashear left, and LaRocque went down.
Goddard trying to sneak a couple of right hands in. A big overhand right there. Brashear throwing left, and he's landed a couple on Eric Goddard.
Neil knew he had to get something to energize his hockey team. And this is a heavyweight bout, but Brashear getting the best of Chris Neil. The jackhammer left.
Goodness
wow,
gracious.
uppercuts.
That didn't tire him out. You knew this was going to happen when Brashear has the left free. Downey started to come back, but he is taking a beating here from Donald Brashear.
It makes absolutely no fucking sense, but alright, EA Sports didn't put Donald Brashear on all-time team grit. But surely, without a doubt, EA Sports has put Donald Brashear on one of the alumni teams that he played for during his 23-year career, right? EA Sports. Brashear is not in the game. Okay, so since the EA Sports devs couldn't have been bothered to put one of the greatest enforcers into their game, I went ahead and created him myself. I tried to make him as accurate to real life as I could, guys. I of course made him an enforcer build, and online he was listed at 6'3" and 240 pounds during his playing days, so that's what I went with. I think I did an okay job, but you guys can be the judge of that one. This is just going to be a quick one-season sim, so potential didn't matter at all, so I just made him a top 9 forward. I decided to make him a 79 overall, so not too high, but also not too low. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that, but I thought 79 overall was a fair number for Brashear. I also gave him full badges and abilities, because, you know, why not? Including Truculence as his main ability, as well as Back At Ya, Bouncer, Shrug It Off, Unstoppable Force, and Crease Crasher. This man's gonna be a fucking animal out there. Now with Brashear ready to go, I had to decide what team to assign him, Crosby, and Ovechkin to. Do I put them on the Capitals, the Pens, or do I maybe put them on a neutral team? I decided that since Brashear played on the Capitals, including with Ovechkin as his teammate from 06 to 09, it was only fair to choose the Capitals. Sorry, Pens fans. I know Crosby in a Caps uniform will never look quite right. And to avoid any serious injuries to our big three, I took injuries off just to make sure that we get to see them perform together over an 82 game season, since that's the entire idea of this whole thing. Alright, so here we are in franchise mode with the new look Capitals, and our lineup is looking stacked. That first line is a thing of beauty. And don't forget about my boy Tom Wilson. Between him and Donald Brashear, we have two absolute killers on this team. And then really quickly guys, I made Crosby the assistant captain along with Nick Backstrom, and of course Ovi's the captain. And for Donald Brashear, I gave him number 97. Okay, so now it's time to test Ovechkin's idea by simming an entire season with this top line playing together the whole time to see how they do. But I just couldn't help myself, so I jumped in and played the first game of the season. Warning, the following footage may be uncomfortable for Boston Bruin fans and some viewers. Injuries were temporarily turned back on for this gameplay. Truculence Donald Brashear is an unstoppable force. He is one with violence. Crosby and Ovechkin together is not fair. This lineup could not be stopped. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are now underway. Oh, some strong physicality on the play to Crosby. And offside, we'll get it. They're going to go. Now, early in the game. And down he goes, pretty much bringing an end to this one. Yeah, he was in control of this fight the entire way. Boston's got possession at center. Washington's got control of it now here in the offensive end. He scores! Well, he's on the board. It's the first of a long season. You want to get to one as quick as you can. Action time, and now they got to climb back into the game. Moves it to Ovechkin. Scores! And consecutive goals here, and they're humming. Looks pretty confident with the puck. He scores! It's in, and I believe that's his first. Congratulations, his first goal. And they're going to dance off here. Oh, and down to the ice he goes. That's the end of that spirited bout. Wilson swooping in on the attack. Beats the puck over. Scores! There was some spice on that. Crossed the line and is on the attack now. The Capitals will play it against the boards. He scores! A short-handed marker. Boom! What a hit! Been by Carlo. Oh, that's a good hit. Well, James, you run around like that, you're going to have to pay the price eventually. And the tip down brings this one to an end. Oh, you got his glove out to knock it away. He scores! Sidney Crosby, Sid the Kid. Oh, the sauce on that pass. Selected! He scores! What a play! This one's all over. Ovechkin's team gets the win, and a big part of that, his hat-trick performance.
Ovechkin with the hattie, Brashear with the double Gordie Howe hat trick with 2 fights, 2 goals, and 2 assists, as he makes huge statements out there protecting his boys.
We need some protections, you know, we need some freedom out there.
And Crosby with a huge 3-point night as well. So now that we've seen this line in action, it's time to sim the rest of the regular season and see how our big top line performs over an 82 game schedule. Arriving at the trade deadline, the Capitals have been absolutely rolling all season. And once again, I just couldn't help myself as I look to make a trade to add to this team at the trade deadline. And guys, I almost went full psychopath as I attempted to add Ryan Reeves to a team that already had Donald Brashear and Tom Wilson on it.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
But I backed off after a couple of rejected offers. Finally though, I found my guy, as the Sharks had Timo Meier on the block. Timo is the perfect fit for this team, as he's that rare power forward who can both score and play physical. San Jose does turn down my initial offer, but I want this trade to push this team over the edge for playoffs, so I make a better offer and get the deal done. Babe, wake up. It's Timo time.
To the other side, Timo Meier scores! On the wing, the shot by Meier, they score! It's Timo time!
Now that it's Timo time on the Washington Capitals, our forward depth is just ridiculous at this point. Now all that's left is just to sim the rest of the season. The Capitals ended up winning 14 of their last 19 games, ending the season with a record of 54, 20, and 8, which was obviously good enough to make the playoffs. Ovechkin finishes with 99 points and 55 goals, and Crosby finished with 89 points with 37 goals and 52 assists. Donald Brashear ended up chipping in 21 points himself, but he went off in his enforcer role, as he ended up with 218 penalty minutes over 82 games and 180 hits. Nathan MacKinnon ended up leading the league in scoring with 101 points. Ovechkin's 55 goals were tops in the league, so Ovi took full advantage of playing with Crosby and Donald Brashear. Brashear also led the league in penalty minutes with his 218, which is more than the next 3 guys combined. Alright guys, it's playoff time now, as the first round matchups are set as we get ready to take on the Montreal Canadiens. Our top line of Ovi, Crosby, and Brashear were unstoppable all season, but is it going to continue in the playoffs? Let's find out. In game number 1 versus Montreal, the Caps get off to a great 2-0 start. The score remains that way until the third period, where the Capitals score another 2 goals to take the game 1 victory 4-0. Moving right to game number 2, the Capitals go up 2-0 once again to start the game. They then explode for a 5-2 lead in the second period, with Nick Backstrom scoring twice and Connor Sheary getting another. Both teams score goals in the third, as the Capitals win game 2 6-3 and take a commanding 2-0 series lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Heading to Montreal now for game 3, the Canadiens come out flying as they jump to a quick 4-2 lead. Backstrom scores the only second period goal to make it a 4-3 game, where the Capitals are able to tie things up, as the top line strikes twice with goals from Crosby and Donald Brashear. With things knotted up 5-5 in game number 3, it's time for some playoff hockey.
Grabs the puck. Puts it in front of the net. Oh, what a save! It's across the line and on the attack down the right side. Game on a stick, and he keeps it alive. What a stop! Oh, what another stop! It's a play to pick it off. They've got numbers. It's a 2-on-1. And not much on that one. And that's knocked away by Ovechkin. Oh, a whole lot of truculence with that. The Canadiens get a hold of the puck in the open ice. A little banging and crashing now. Montreal skate for the win, and he comes up with a huge save. Moves the puck along the half wall. Here's a chance. Oh, we are still tied. What a stop. Stops him again.
And sure been fun to watch tonight. He's got 3 points in the game already.
Love the defensive stick work there to poke that one away. Looking to end it. Moves it to the middle zone. Centering feed. Oh, off the iron by Caulfield. My goodness, the pressure really building here in the offensive end.
The sliver of room there, James. There's none. And he got hurt.
Looking to end it.
It's a power play, and you shrug your shoulders and go back to bench. This feels like a pretty heavy miss.
Washington's got it, and they're on the attack. Stars! They take it in overtime!
Unfortunately, I didn't get the slow sim footage for game number 4. I think I fucked up and trimmed the clip at the wrong spot on my PS5. But regardless, the boys took home the easy 3-1 dub, sweeping the Canadiens 4-0. In the second round of the playoffs, the Capitals now face the Carolina Hurricanes. This will definitely be a tougher challenge for the boys, but I believe in this top line. In game number 1 against the Canes, Washington continues to start games off well, as they go up 2-0 after the first. Both teams scored twice in the second, but the Caps finish it off in the third, as Ovi scores the goal, as the Caps take the always important game 1 victory, 5-2. In game number 2, it's the Hurricanes this time who jump out to the early lead after 1 as they go up 3-2. But the Capitals respond with goals in the second from Hathaway and Mantha to take the lead. But Carolina comes right back with a huge third period and takes game 2 by a score of 5-4. With the series tied 1-1 as we go to game 3, Ovechkin steps up for the team as he scores twice in the first period. Crosby gets an important goal in the second period to keep the Capitals in the lead, which they follow up with a massive 3-goal period in the third as Eller, Strome, and John Carlson score, and the Caps go back up in the series 2-1. In game 4, the Capitals make a huge statement as they score 3 times in the first, including 1 from Crosby, 2 goals in the second period, including another one from Sid the Kid, and then 1 more from Strome for good measure in the third, as the Caps win 6-0 and take a 3-1 stranglehold on the series. In game number 5, the Capitals again prove to be just too much to handle for the Hurricanes. As Crosby scores in the first period, Ovechkin and Timo Meier score in the second, and the Capitals make their way to both the 4-1 victory and series win. With that, the boys have now rolled into the Eastern Conference Finals as they will take on the Ottawa Senators in a battle between the nation's capitals. Game 1 of the conference finals starts off even, as the two big boys, Brashear and Brady Tkachuk, each get on the board for their respective teams. Claude Giroux gets the only goal in the second period, and the Senators close it out with 2 more goals in the third, as they take the fairly easy Game 1 dub. And this is actually the first time that the Capitals have trailed in a series in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react here. And things don't get any easier to start game number 2, as the Capitals find themselves tied 2-2 after the first. After a scoreless second period, the Capitals need and get a clutch third period, as they score 3 times, including 1 from Crosby, as they take the 5-3 victory and tie things up 1-1 here in the Eastern Conference Finals. We head across the border to Ottawa for Game 3, and for the 3rd straight game to start the series, these two teams are tied after the first period. Stützle gets the only goal in the second period, but they manage to tie things up in the third period with goals from Crosby and Dylan Strome. With the series tied 1-1 and the game tied 4-4, we head to a critical Game 3 overtime.
Let's find out who's got the game on their stick. Puck is dropped on overtime. Let's find out if there's any heroes out there. And he slides it quickly to Ovechkin. And now he angles it across to Crosby. Moves it to the middle. Scores! What a finish on the play!
Donald fucking Brashear. This man has been doing the dirty work all year, and he gets rewarded with his playoff moment. Heading to Game 4 up 2-1 in the series, the Washington Capitals have full momentum now, as they take a quick 2-0 lead after 1 with goals from Ovechkin and Connor Sheary. But the Senators stun the Capitals with 3 unanswered goals in the second period, followed by another 2 unanswered goals in the third, as they come back to win Game 4 5-2 and tie the series up once again. Starting Game 5, Orlov gets the Caps going early with the lone first period goal. The two teams then trade off goals in the second. The Capitals get another clutch third period and take the game 4-1, putting themselves just 1 win away from the Stanley Cup final. With their playoff lives on the line in Game 6, the Senators battle the Caps to a scoreless tie after 1. But Hathaway scores in the second to put the Capitals just 20 minutes away from the finals. However, Claude Giroux scores twice in the third period for the Senators to set up a dramatic Game 6 overtime.
Deflected away. Nice defensive use of the stick there. To the low slot. Oh, what a paddle save on the play. Here's a shot. Turns that one away. Big save by the goaltender once again.
Some quick instruction on the bench about how to end this game.
Quick feed. Looking to end it. Fails to capitalize in OT. He's got the game on his stick.
Oh, he didn't have enough gas to get the shot off. Really good work.
Game on his stick. What a save.
It's okay. Sometimes you've got to just push the puck a little deeper.
Shot. Oh, what a big time stop by Kemper. And finally stop all that pressure. Comes up with a big pad save. Leaves the zone going back to center ice. Washington's on the attack. For the win. Scores! Your overtime winner! Hard-fought series by both teams, but one's going on and one's going home. There is your Prince of Wales Trophy winners. Not the one they want, Ray. There's a bigger goal in mind.
Another exciting OT victory and another series win for the Capitals as they take the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 games over the Senators to head to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they will be taking on the Calgary Flames. It all comes down to this, folks. In game number 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the Washington Capitals get on the board first, as Anthony Mantha gets things rolling here in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Capitals go up 3-1 after the second period as Ovi gets his first of the Stanley Cup Finals. Nobody scores in the third period as the Capitals defeat the Flames to take game 1. Moving on to game 2, the Flames and Caps both score twice in the first, as this top line continues to score throughout these playoffs. They strike again as Ovechkin scores a goal in the second period, but the Flames take a 4-3 lead heading into the third, where they add one more to win the game 5-3 and tie the series at 1 game apiece. The series flips over to Calgary for game 3, where Tom Wilson gets the Caps off to an early lead. His goal holds up as the only one scored through 2 periods, before the Capitals close it out with 2 goals in the third, including one from Ovechkin, to shut out the Flames in front of their home crowd and take the 2-1 series lead here in the finals. Calgary, desperately in need of another win in this series, comes out for a critical game 4 and gets the job done, as they get their early 1-0 lead, followed by big second and third periods to help them quickly tie the series up 2-2. In a critical game number 5, Calgary shocks Washington with 3 unanswered goals in the first, only for the dream team from Washington to respond with a second period for the ages, as they score 4 unanswered goals to take a 4-3 lead. The third period goes scoreless, as the Capitals take a shocking come-from-behind victory to take a 3-2 series lead and put them just 1 win away from the ultimate prize in hockey. In Game 6, the Capitals go up 2-1 after the first period, but the Flames respond to tie the game 3-3 as we head into the third. As we super slow sim this third period, things look like they could be heading to our first overtime of the finals, until Sidney Crosby gets the massive go-ahead goal with just 6 minutes left in the game. As time continues to wind down, Tom Wilson scores his second of the finals for the insurance marker, and the Caps are now just moments away from the Stanley Cup.
Just seconds away now as they are set to hoist the Stanley Cup. And there's the final horn. No harder trophy to win in sports than the Stanley Cup, and they're doing it. And here he comes, the captain, to collect the cup. What a story of leadership this playoff run.
Well, he's always been known as a leader, but it's his production, James, that really stood out to me in this playoffs. He leads the team in goals. He's the captain of the team. He becomes the backbone of this squad, and now he's the first to hoist the Stanley Cup.
And look who's hoisting a Stanley Cup again. Ray, this is starting to become routine.
Well, it is, but here's the thing is, like, you don't just get to show up and win the cup. You've got to be good enough to be on the best teams year after year. He has been, and here he wins again.
Well, there he is right now, hoisting that Stanley Cup, the leader of the hit parade.
It's like a wrecking ball, like the energy that he plays with, the ability to get in and to finish every check, that takes a toll on you over the length of this tournament. Didn't slow him down at all.
The team picture, this is something that 99 started, did he not?
Yeah, I believe it was his last year in Edmonton where they won, called everybody together. What an unreal photo to have.
Ovi ended up with 29 points and 14 goals in 21 playoff games to lead the way for the Capitals. Sidney Crosby was also fantastic, racking up 11 goals and 13 assists in 21 games. Brashear chipped in 3 goals and 8 points, but his true value was his ability to clear up space for Ovi and Crosby, and he did just that, with an insane 83 penalty minutes and 54 hits in the playoffs. Looking at playoff and regular season awards, the Capitals, of course, won the Stanley Cup, and they also took home the President's Trophy during the regular season with their 54 wins. And of course, Ovechkin took home the Conn Smythe as playoff MVP. Nathan MacKinnon won the Art Ross Trophy, while Kucherov won the Hart. Drew Doughty had a resurgence year, as he takes home the Norris Trophy for top D-man. And Shane Wright actually won the Calder in this simulation as the top rookie of the year. Gibson takes home the Vezina as top goalie, and Ovechkin claims the Rocket, as he ended up leading the league in goals with 55 while playing alongside Crosby and Brashear. Clearly the man knew what he was talking about, and his idea of putting those three together was a stroke of genius.
If we play together, I'll probably take Brashear.
I had a ton of fun making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But until next time, Moose out.